Hey. Hey there. Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, shit.
If you are a woman and you related to this Summer Walker album, shame on you, bitch.
Oh, shit.
The delusion. The way you need to grow up. The way you need therapy.
The way this pastor voice is coming through my headphones.
My nigga, I was ready to listen to Summer Walker because listen, y'all know a bitch single, so I was like, ooh, I'm gonna feel the music in a way I never had before, baby. No. I listened to this goddamn album and cringed.
Oh, man.
I listened to this album and was like, this is why we believe niggas ain't shit. Because there is zero accountability when it comes to how women show up in these goddamn motherfucking relationships. Now, I do want to say, I do agree with her that Toxic was better than X for a reason. So she came out and said that Toxic
would have been a better single.
That would have been her single of choice. I also want to sit here and say that this is my thoughts on the album, and I get what you guys are saying, but this is literally how I feel.
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
Bitch,
embarrassing.
okay. So here's the thing, too. Before I get into really what I want to get into and one of the specific songs that literally let me know this album was not for me, the way that y'all are like, oh, and she talk about landing on the track, and oh, if you go look at them goddamn credits, he's credited for half the album. So not only is the album all about this nigga and how awful he treated you, I bet you he's making more off the album than you are, since you're only making 15 cents to $1 that you make.
I want us to start acting like Adele and writing about these bum ass dudes years after they've been gone.
Years later.
So I don't even know who it is. Who's she talking about again?
Well, the first half
now we don't even know. She writing about the shit from 3 years ago. I don't even know her husband's name. I don't even know the ex-husband's name.
The first half of the album, she spent talking about the other women in this nigga's life.
Well,
so bitter, the way that women were showing up, which, I mean, clearly, if you guys look at for those of you who are questioning, well, if she was talking about London on the track, how was he on half of the album? If you guys go back to even the rollout of this album, she writes the dates in which she either went into the studio and recorded or the song's finished. So you see that it was over the last 2 years in which we saw her vividly going back and forth with the other baby mamas and things like that. I wanted to play, of course, Bridget and I had our thoughts on what Ciara's prayer would be and what it meant. I wanted to get into that a little bit, and I'm not even going to play it all because it's embarrassing, okay? So here goes Ciara's prayer, and I'm not going to play it all, but I'm going to play enough to feel embarrassed.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb, for real.
Listen, do you know what you can pray for other than a fucking man?
I know, because I do it every day.
This was given desperation.
No, this...
Girl, and listen, let me tell you also. First off, and I'm going to say it because the other women podcast maybe not saying it. If Russell Wilson was not a millionaire for the Seattle Seahawks, he would not be a nigga that y'all would be like, oh my God, I want one. No, seriously. That's for one. For two.
That's not
well,
true.
That's for one. I speak for myself and me and my homegirls. Bridget, you and I are very different in the way that we think and the conversations we have with our friends. I
have a theory on that.
I'm telling you now, there ain't nothing about Russell Wilson that I would want.
I have a theory on that, and I'm going to get to it.
Beyond that, Ciara, you could only go up from Little Bow Wow, 50 Cent, and Future. You could only go up. Does it get any worse than those three?
Yeah.
Future? It gets worse than Future. Y'all know I'm good on Future.
I mean, if we talking about money, Are you talking about money?
He doesn't pay. None of his baby mamas get money, and they've all come out and said so. So this isn't about money. This isn't about money.
Okay, but you just said,
but it's not about money.
You said she wouldn't be with Russell Wilson if Russell Wilson didn't have money. Everybody else.
He's lame. This is what I talked about when we talked about Travis Scott last week, and him even looking a certain way because he has the power and money he has. What I'm saying is that if Russell Wilson was not an NFL player with the millions of dollars that he has, that he would be lame. And a lot of women don't like lame niggas, bro. And if you think that we out here claiming lame niggas, who are you friends with? Because I know who you've told me you rocked with. I know who your nigga is right now. He not a lame nigga.
No.
We don't like lame niggas. The way that nigga look is lame.
But it's not the way he looks is lame versus how he treats her.
How he treats her is one thing. Who he is outside is lame.
And the reason most women who fucking complain about that type of shit are single for that very fucking reason.
Because they don't want no lame nigga?
No, because he's not. What you think is lame is not fucking lame. You loving and looking for the wrong shit. Bitches praying for the Ciara's prayer, looking for the wrong shit. You are incomplete, broken-ass woman looking for a man to save you, and you can't save your fucking self.
Oh, talk your shit.
So you looking for broken men out here.
Well, that was one of the things that she said in the prayer that did bother me a little bit.
She praying for the next love to be, girl, pray that your next love is yourself, because you don't love yourself, and that's how you ended up in this situation in the first place. You're looking for
guidance. You're looking for leadership. You're looking for things in which, for your life, you should be looking for a counterpart to build with, not someone to lead you.
But also, based on all of this shit, the only thing I got from this album is she don't need to be in nobody's relationship.
Oh.
Especially considering all of the fucking all this red flag fucking trends that we seeing on the internet. How many fucking red flags? There's 50 red flags in the first 2 records.
Yeah.
How many red flags did we ignore here? Like, we talking about red flags, sis. If you missed all of these red flags, you don't need to be in a relationship. You need to pray to God for discernment. You need to pray to God for clarity.
Oh, discernment. What that mean?
Discernment means the ability to see things for what they are.
I know that's right. Talk your fucking shit,
Make
Bridget.
a decision with the information that's presented to you.
Boom. Which is what gets me to the song that made me dislike this album. Can I get into it? Can you pull up the lyrics?
Yeah.
Bridget, because at this point, audience, we are doing a lyric breakdown.
That's okay. What's the song?
Broken Promises.
Jesus.
And this is where I want to speak again to the women listening, of course the men listening, but this is the song that when I heard it, I went like, sorry.
All right, that's
a bitch wanted to
just sound is awful.
Yes, good. I almost threw up. I gagged. I said, "This is disgusting.
It's yucky.
It's giving ill.
It's giving
gross.
It's giving ill.
Bitch, it's giving ill." And this song is giving ill. So this is Broken Promises, guys, and I want to play it, and I'm gonna pause it so we can go over these lyrics. I want to pause it right there.
Okay.
I want to pause it right there, and let's do a little breakdown of that first verse. The second verse is where I started gagging. So I just wanted to break this down real first onto what my thoughts were on this, only because we got to see it play out. Yeah, look, you reading the words to that next verse, huh? This is where I want to get into. My thing is, it wasn't to me, and we've said this a lot on this pod. Mm-hmm. To me, a man's actions does oftentimes speak louder than his words. And to me, it's not about what other people have to tell you about your man, but you having the discernment to see who your man has shown up recently, within the last 5 years, within the last 10 years. But this isn't just one baby mama. This isn't just 2. This isn't just 3. It's who he's shown up for. And I'll be honest with you. It's almost like the same way you get him is the same way you lose him.
Yep.
For you to get with a cheater and think that, oh, he's not going to cheat on me is one thing. The fact that you saw how he treated his other baby moms and what type of father he was, and you thinking he was going to show up any differently than with you. Yeah. It's like these women didn't have to tell you discernment.
But also, not even just that. Sometimes discernment really will show up for you in a space of understanding that everybody ain't wrong. If everyone has the same testimony about this man, something should at least put your guard up a little bit. He should have to work a little bit harder to prove to you that he's not that person.
And I'm only taking that now because I've been in a place where I thought someone would show up as a different person than what everyone said he was.
But what I've also noticed too is that nowadays, and I'll get into my take on this whole project and why it made me sad. As an artist, it made me sad because I think this this generation of artists now is so overexposed and oversaturated, and their lives are so oversaturated by social media and what the world thinks of, and what the world sees as their personal lives, and the ups and downs that they deal with in their relationships, romantic relationships, in their business. This whole album to me was just her addressing every single thing that's been put out on the internet about her in the last 2 years, which to me lets me know that, one, you're not living your life for yourself, which is a problem, and two, you are living solely for the purpose of proving people wrong based on what they're seeing about you on social media.
Yep.
So you're not really living. So if you're gonna go in and write a project, right? And this was another takeaway that I had actually from a movie that I started watching that I didn't get a chance to finish. It was Kid Cudi's movie about artists in general, and understanding that sometimes, it was something that Willow Smith said, sometimes you want to create something, but your subconscious is literally resisting it because you haven't lived enough.
You haven't finished it.
You haven't finished living your life enough to get to a place where what you're writing about and what you're releasing and sharing with the world. That's why I said the Adele Method is incredible.
It is.
Because she's not sharing how broken she was until she's already past it. So now she has mastered, seemingly, on the surface anyway, mastered removing herself from the pain that existed in a space and during a time when we didn't even know it was happening. So whatever story she tells us, whatever narrative she shares, is what we have to take for face value.
And that's so beautiful because we don't, I just actually shared this as well. I don't get that luxury with podcasting. Like, I come in here. I can, but I come in here and I share what I'm going through when I'm going through it. So that's why I don't mind sitting here as a hypocrite, because I don't mind being vulnerable in what my journey looks like,
right,
and changing my mind and going through those things.
The difference is you don't really have to answer to anyone.
Facts.
You set your tone.
Right.
So if anybody likes you, then they like you and you're consistent.
Right.
If people don't like you, okay, that's fine too. They're not affecting your check.
Right.
The difference is with that, you still get to decide who you want to be and how much you want to share.
Right.
Every time. And there are some things that we don't share. There are things that we talk about on our regular downtime that we're not bringing to the pod
come in here.
because it doesn't need to be for everybody.
Right.
Not everything needs to be dissected. And with this, it's like everybody's giving her props and kudos for sharing all this. Most of this stuff was not shared by her. Most of this stuff was shared by other people, by these other baby mamas that were trying to be messy, by bitches that London might have been messing with.
Can I pause there?
Yeah.
Because when we get into the second verse, this is where I was like, it's not giving what it's supposed to give.
All right.
I want to stop there. Ladies, you don't have to make yourself feel better by putting down someone else. And so the idea that she sat here and referred to the other baby mamas as a fuck up, a no one, and one who was trying to come up, does that put you in a place or a pedestal to where you now feel like you should have been treated differently? That's a problem. Hold on, I want to let it finish, because this is
and then I want to move on from this because we giving it too much energy.
That was verse 2.
So, ladies,
was verse 2.
The takeaway, and this is not for ladies. This is for men too.
Mm-hmm.
My major takeaway from a lot of this too is the fact that you do to some degree have to pay attention to how men and women treat other people that are not you. You have to take that into account. Something that was that we talked about a while back that I said was would have been a red flag. Watch how the person that you're on a date with speaks to the staff, how they speak to people that are in the service position, how they speak to the valet person,
how they treat their mom,
how they treat their mother, how they speak about. Bottom line, I don't care, and this is for the men. I don't care if your baby mama ain't shit. I don't care if she's toxic. I don't care if she's trash. I don't care what the circumstance is. Your stupid ass procreated with her. So if you bring another woman into the space, watch how you speak on that woman.
Mm-hmm.
Watch how you speak on her. Watch how you, because as a woman, as someone that's new to the space, how you handle her in that framework is setting the stage for how I'm gonna then be expected to handle her. which is not fair because now you're creating an unnecessary war between women, and war between women is 9 times out of 10 over some men that ain't really worth the war.
Dumb.
So be mindful of that. And women, pay attention to that shit. How he treats the other women he has children with. Forget exes. We talking about children. You raising another person. This man is responsible for at least three other human beings with 3 other women. How he speaks about those women, how he handles those women who have mothered his children should tell you everything you need to know. Fuck how he treats you. He could be treating you differently. If he's not showing up for these women and these kids, he ain't shit. I don't care. He could be speaking to you differently, showing up for all the shit, and be fucking clear, ladies, especially my creatives. A man showing up for you in a creative space is a collaborative effort.
Yep.
That's mutually beneficial. A man holding you down can't look like him showing up to the studio to inspire you to make good music, because sis, he eating off this music now.
That part.
So now he getting paid for the damage he did. This whole project to me was just like one big upset after the next, more so because I feel so, as a female artist, right, coming into an industry even at the time that I did, there was no mentorship. There were no women helping me navigate any spaces. There were no women paving the way and showing signs of support. It was always competitive. It was always petty.
Yeah.
I can only think of 3 female artists that really in my space were interested in forming some level of camaraderie. That's Melanie Fiona, that's Elle Varner, and that's Seven. I can't speak for the rest of the women that came out around that time, but those are women that we would come around each other, and it's always love, no matter what the situation, no matter what the circumstance. And even going through something, I know to this day, if I needed to call Mel and be like, hey, will you pray with me real quick? I'm going through some shit. She'd be like, yo, I got you. Whatever you need. Is everything okay? A lot of female artists especially don't have that female support. So my heart break listening to this.
She had Cardi B support her in the bitter interlude.
In the social media. But again, all of this shit is on social media. All of this shit is outside.
Yeah.
Stop. You don't have to do that. Because now all of this stuff that she's singing about is all the shit I already knew about on social media. So you're not bringing me, your art is now social media shit. It's got nothing, your craft has been totally overrun by all the shit that was on social media.
But it also goes back to, and as we exit Freshly Squeezed, there's another topic that I wanted to bring up because, like I said, in listening to this album, I heard Delusion. I heard you said you would be different for me, and all of the other bitches you were with weren't as amazing as me, so how dare you treat me like them? That's what I was getting. It was a lot of projection. It was a lot of insecurity. It was just a lot of delusion.
Which is denial.
Which is how a lot of times we enter relationships. Amber Rose took her to her Instagram story and posted this. And this kind of falls into the same conversation of women in dating. She said, niggas be wanting love, support, affection, commitment, loyalty, and raw sex, but as friends. And I say this to say, when a man shows up and tells you exactly who they are and who they are willing to show up to you as, ladies, you have a choice. If that man only wants to be your friend, if that man only wants to show up and drop the dick off from time to time when it's convenient for him, if that man in your heart cannot meet the expectations that you set for a partner, you can walk away. There are way more fish in the sea. You can also literally be in a situation to where you can control the narrative. You can commit. You can support. You can be affectionate. You can commit. You can give your pussy up raw to a man who's willing to show up for you when he's proven that he's willing to show up for you.
Yeah.
You can only be mad at yourself if you do all of this for somebody and he just want to be your friend. Blame yourself. Blame yourself. Be mad at you. This whole niggas ain't shit narrative. A lot of times we know exactly the men that we're falling for, that we're liking, that we want to be with. And in times I told y'all be falling in love with the potential more than the person that's right in front of you. I
don't even think it's that you fall in love with the potential, because most of the time they know potential. Where is the potential? You baby mama. Where is the potential? The potential was over when you
in your 20s and signed up to be baby mama number 4. Blame yourself.
No, I mean,
blame yourself.